and we all went. But anyway, he's probably not referring to that. He's probably referring to the time Bruce wanted to meet Elvis, and we were one of our early tours. I don't remember, somewhere in the '70s. And now, for me, I of course appreciate Elvis and appreciate the pioneers of the '50s, but I had to go back and really learn about them. My real interest and my heart and soul began with the British invasion, with the bands.
The whole '60s.
With all, all right. So it was like 12 o'clock at night, whatever, 1 o'clock in the morning. He says, "Come on, let's go find Elvis." So we get in the car, and we go. I think it's a cab actually, and we heard the cab wait. And he says, "Come on, let's jump over the wall." And I'm like, I gotta tell you, you're a bigger fan than me. I'm gonna stay right here, And it's all right. So he jumps over, and I'm waiting to hear like if the dog's gonna eat him, or what's gonna happen, or bullet, the sound of bullets firing. I figured we better have somebody to tell the story to the press. And what happened was he got all the way up to the front door. And the door opened, and I believe it was Elvis's father, Vernon.
Vernon,
yeah, and very nice, And said to Bruce, "Sorry, Elvis isn't here at the moment. Try back another day."
That's fabulous. Let's take a phone call. Talk to little Stephen Van Zandt, 888-843-2891. Lots of music. We're going to play your music, your requests. Just stand by for it. Stephen, let's go out to Rhode Island. Hi, good evening, Cousin Tony.
Hi, good evening, Cousin Bruce.
Tony, I'd like you to meet Stephen Van Zandt. Hi, Stephen, this is Tony.
How are you, Tom?
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Great, baby.
Good to hear from you. Hey, Stephen, I got a quick question for you. I'm good friends with Dino Danelli, and I know that there's some problems between like Felix and Eddie and everything. I was wondering if you could bridge the gap between them to get them together. Is there any possibility of that happening? Do you foresee this happening, Stevie?
Well, let me tell you this, Tony. You're gonna love hearing this because there's not a problem between them anymore. They reunited. Me and my wife Maureen were honored at a benefit for the Christian Ann Carr Foundation, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
Right.
And for that foundation, the Rascals actually reunited for the first time in 40 years, and played, and we are talking about maybe keeping them together and doing something, doing a tour, doing a residency somewhere, doing something. So we're starting to really seriously talk about that. And they're getting along just great.
Good. That sounds great because I know Dino very well. As a matter of fact, I own a couple of Dino's drum sets, believe it or not.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Well,
and
keep them because he may be needing them soon.
Well, I'll never let these here go. But that's good news. I'd love to hear that happening.
And listen, if you, Tony, if you were listening, we had Felix Cavallari on 2 weeks ago, I think.
I did hear it.
Right. And I asked him that question because I cannot, being one of the guys that really helped find that group, which I want to talk to Stephen about because I want, when Stephen puts them together, and they are being put together, it'll happen. I want them up here. I want them here serenading me like they did over at WABC years ago. Anyway, you heard Felix say that.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of the other guys on the air. They all, it's getting ready. And Felix's attitude has changed, and that it's going to happen. So just stand by. Will you do that?
That sounds good, and that's exactly what I'll do.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let's play something by the Rascals.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to play something by the Rascals after that, right?
Let's redo.
Ain't Gonna Get My Heart Anymore. Like the first song that I ever heard by them, which knocked me out from the very first moment. And still one of my favorites, huh?
I admit you got the biggest brown eyes, and you know how to pop your lips to tantalize. Sure. You can get any man you want to go, and you do it. And don't say you don't know you do it. Well, baby, I ain't gonna eat out my heart anymore. I ain't gonna eat out my heart anymore. So quit it.
I tell you, I have such great memories with them. Steve, I'll tell you a fun story with the Rascals, and actually Felix related this one. You remember when they were really starting with this record, they were playing a place called the Phone Booth in New York City. I don't know if you remember that, but you'd be a decent stage, a nice sized little venue for New York, which you don't have too many of them anymore. And people would sit in tables, and if you saw somebody you liked at table 3, you'd call table 3.
Right.
Phone booth. So they came one day, and they, I was on WABC, and I got off the air, and they were with Sid Bernstein, and Sid worked with them, and they took a big muskrat coat.
On
And they put on, look at these, what
I got an update for
they were
you.
dressed like
Your name
long
is
Formula
Terry
One. They
Caparazzo.
had knickers and
Why
little
are you doing
frou-frou
that?
collars. I mean, you know
That's
how
how
you
it
see
was
in
on
your
there.
neighborhood with them. You know, it's kind of,
What do you mean?
who knew what they sounded
That's
like?
how it's been on there.
That's
That's not right. That's not your name.
And they grabbed me in a cab and they said, "Yeah, come with us." And
Yeah,
you know,
but
I
people
knew Steve
are
was,
looking for me.
I knew
Some
Sid
people don't know
Bernstein
me.
Looking
was
for you.
and I
That,
saw them for
who's
the
looking
first time
for
on
you?
stage.
My
and there's no doubt
relatives.
what
My
was gonna
relatives
happen.
all don't know
And
my
what-
last name.
So I'm so glad that you are going to be the glue. And you are the glue. I know what's happening right now. Here's an email.
That's all my relatives have their
Stephen
name
Benz
on
at
there. If they have
Stephen,
their middle,
and I
they
know
use
you do.
Caparazzo
You
as
can
their middle
email
name.
Cousin Brucey at SiriusXM.com, ask a question, or get on that phone and don't give up. You know, my audience, you do not give up. Ouch. 888-843. I get too emotional, Stephen. 888-843-2891. Stephen here. Stephen, it says, hi, cousin. Question to Stephen. This comes from Bob Ruggiero, who's the music writer of the Houston Press. Okay? Great. You have personally championed, this is you, Stephen, championed the Hollies and the Dave Clark 5 to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And both of them did, thanks in no small part to your efforts. Which band now, other than the E Street Band, would you like to see inducted? That's from Bob Ruggiero.
Well, thank you, Bob. Yeah, it's really a group effort over there. You know, and it's so difficult because there's so many deserving, groups and artists that should be in, and you know, we can only put in so many every year, so it's always a tough one. But I think it's very important to get in. Johnny Burnett and the Rock and Roll Trio have always been one of my most important groups to get in because they literally, other than Elvis, you know, Scotty and Bill, really were the most important rockabilly group, I think, and really typify the archetypical rockabilly group. And they should be, you know, they should be in one way or the other, maybe as an influence, or we'll have to work on that. Other than that, you know, there's many. You know, still a lot of doo-wop groups that should be in. I think Chai Five's one of them. Most of the British Invasion are in at this point, which is absolutely essential because to me the British Invasion was the big bang of everything that we are now doing. And without the British Invasion, I don't think the 50s would have been as appreciated as they are. You know, without them being championed by the Beatles and Stones and those guys. You know, I think it's just a few British Invasion things I think should be in that aren't, such as Herman's Hermits, I believe, deserve to be in. You know, and a few others, but you know, there's no shortage of groups that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And I want to go back, once you're doing this and lobbying, I want to see Neil Sedaka, I want to see Paul Anka, I'd like to see